What is happening, Boot Junkies? What is happening, Boot Junkies? Mike Delgadio here, back with another video on home studio setup for voiceover. And we have another mic comparison video that I'm going to give you a sense of two different microphones that are very common for voiceover. Once you get up into the regular working professional, I'm going to be doing this a lot type microphones. I've been getting some questions from one fellow booth junkie that's another YouTuber, goes by the handle of Thick Freedom, and he's got a great channel about gaming. And he was asking me about the different mics and comparing these two microphones, my $2,000 microphones here, the 416 versus the TLM 103. So I thought we'd make that the theme for this video today and see what a $1,000 mic gets you and the differences between them and when you might use them. So let's take a look. And we've got two here. I think over here is where we can see them best. Two microphones, and this is like the shootout of the $1,000 microphone. So if you're just starting out, these are the microphones that maybe you aspire to. These are your really true forever mics. These are the ones that you could use literally for the rest of your voiceover career. We have two. There are lots of microphones out there that can be your forever mic. These are not the ones. These are mine. If you come to me in 10 years, there's a good chance I may still be using these exact mics. Probably not, because I want to spend money on microphones, but they could be my forever mics. And right now they've been my two main ones for a couple of years now. I really, really like them. Okay, so the two microphones that we have here to compare are the Neumann TLM 103 and the Sennheiser MKH 416. These are both condenser mics, but they're two totally different kinds of microphones. And typically, well, let's talk about the two different kinds, what they are. The first one, as I've mentioned in many of my other videos, the Neumann, the TLM 103, is a cardioid pattern, large diaphragm condenser mic. Cardioid pattern, as you've seen me do before, it's a heart-shaped pattern, right? So there's a heart-shaped lobe of sensitivity around this microphone. Sensitive on the front, less sensitive on the back, still very sensitive from the side. So as I move from side to side on the microphone, you'd still might hear my voice fairly well. The other one is the Sennheiser MKH 416, and that's a shotgun microphone. Typically, they're not originally intended for voiceover. They're really used to be used at a distance. And you see them on movie sets all the time. So when there's somebody who's holding a microphone on a pole up over some actors, they're using a microphone like this. It's a shotgun pattern. And a shotgun pattern is like a super hyper cardioid pattern. So it's not heart-shaped in this sense. It's focused like a beam of sensitivity. So the Sennheiser, as you move off axis, you'll see that it disappears pretty rapidly. The voice sensitivity, it falls off very rapidly from side to side, whereas the Neumann does not fall off nearly as much from side to side. It's just as sensitive from the side on the Neumann, the cardioid, whereas the shotgun, not nearly so sensitive from the side. So there are different times, different advantages for that specific situation. The thing that attracted me to the Sennheiser, the 416 originally, was before I had the whisper room, and I was out in my control room. That was my primary voice studio. But there's traffic out there. There's noise. So what I would do is I would face this microphone, put the butt of the microphone facing the noise, which happens to be that direction. I'd face the butt of the microphone towards that noise so that it was the noise was on the least sensitive side, to try and eliminate as much road noise as I could. Sorry, it's very crowded in here with all these microphones and wires. So you might consider, and there are lots of other shotguns. There is a Rode, the NTG series, Rode. I don't know, Rode, if you have any microphones you want me to test out so I can compare them to this one for booth junkies. So if you got a Rode microphone and want to send it to me, I'll be happy to test it out. And you might not get it back. So I liked the shotgun, and I saved all of my pennies. So I bought a couple of microphones on Craigslist, a vintage CAD E100 on Craigslist. At the same time as the AKG Perception that you've seen me use. I've used those microphones in the beginning, and I saved everything. Everything I earned, those pennies got saved, and I didn't spend on anything until I had enough money for a microphone. This microphone. So I saved all of my earnings. I call them winnings. I saved all of my winnings to get this microphone, and then this one came after. But I have positively fallen in love with this microphone. So where are we going into? So we're taking from the two different microphones here. They both go into the Zoom H5. So Zoom H5, they're both microphones, channels 1 and 2. They're going into that, into this. And I have the preamps set identically. They're both just a shade below 5, which is reasonably hot for both of these microphones. But I wanted to give you a sense of the underlying noise floor for these microphones because they're incredibly quiet microphones. So you've seen me compare this one to the CAD E100, I think. You've seen me do I have a video about the CAD E100, which is a very quiet mic, the lowest noise floor in its class, I think. But we learned that it's really still not all that quiet. At least mine and some of the listeners, some of my other booth junkies that I talk to through this channel, they found that their E100S is not as quiet as they would have thought for how quiet it's touted. But the Neumann, so I have the Neumann set up nice and high like that at 5 on the Zoom's preamp, so you can get a sense. So I'm gonna be quiet now, and I'll point to each microphone so we can listen to how it sounds with nothing. So first we'll listen to the Neumann. Hear my clothes rustling around. Pretty quiet, right? Okay, so now let's test the Sennheiser. Also, an extremely quiet microphone. Both of these, super quiet. Neither microphone will introduce a level of noise that will be audible or interference-ish, will cause any interference with your recordings. So if you're doing something for broadcast, you're doing something for audiobooks, either of these microphones are going to sound really good. Let's see, proximity effect next. So we'll do a proximity test and see how they sound differently. So you see, I've got wind socks on these. That's how I prefer to do it with these videos, so I don't have these pop filters that block my view of the camera. But I'll get up nice and close to each of these microphones, and we'll see how they sound. And they should get bassier as I get closer. So first we'll get up right to the Neumann. Let's make sure I'm not clipping. I'm not clipping. So we should see that that my voice is a little bit louder, but it's also hot. Like this is it's a very full spectrum microphone. It captures everything, your lows, your highs, everything. But it does have a little bit more of it does increase the bass, but it's not, to my ears, it's not over the top with the amount of bass increase. So I think it's good for proximity. There's a proximity effect that you can leverage to get more oomph into your voice, but it's not overpowering. Okay, so let's try that same thing again with the 416. So as I get right up onto that microphone, you'll see it sounds different, doesn't it? So let's make sure I'm not clipping. I'm not clipping. So I think that this one is brighter. Do you see? For me, it sounds like there's more treble in your voice, so more clarity. Could be considered brightness, whereas the Neumann is dark. The Sennheiser, the 416, is bright. Do you hear the difference between them? This one is dark. This one is bright. So, two different ways to capture the same voice. You'll see that they don't necessarily sound alike. Now, use cases for these. They both will work as mics for voiceover, for broadcast, for commercials, for audiobooks. You can do all of that stuff with either one of these. Some different advantages that I could think of in different situations, depending on your use case. So if you were let's say you're a YouTuber like me, but maybe you do a gaming channel. And so you want to have a microphone that you can talk into, but it doesn't get in the way of your gaming system. Then something like a shotgun microphone might be exactly what you're looking for, because you can set it up above your monitor facing you. It doesn't even have to be in your picture, right? So I could angle this microphone really practically out of my picture and it still sounds really good, right? Because this is made to be used from 6 or 7 feet away. So you could use the Sennheiser and have it be up over your monitor or come out from between your monitor, and it will help. But I do see a lot of people that, other voice artists, where they'll use this microphone for long form. They'll use it for broadcast. They'll use it for advertisement where you want to have a natural sounding voice. This one, you'll see people use it a lot of times if they're doing the bumpers in between promos, in between commercial breaks. You're listening to the Discovery Channel, that sort of stuff. Or same sort of promos for, listen to B104. Because this mic it's super clear. It's got a lot of proximity effect. You can get right up in there. You can be that WDVE kind of voice that does those promos, because there's a lot of effect that you can leverage for this microphone. But it's bright, right? So it'll cut through, as they say. So this bright mic will help. You see this one used a lot for promos. Joe Cipriano, famous promo guy. This is like his bread and butter mic. He talks about how he built a studio around a Neumann U87, which is like a $3,000 mic. But I think he goes back to this 416 quite a bit, and lots of voice actors do. So that's I'll try and switch back and forth, and you guys will hear it, and I'll label it this time, so we'll make this one a fair comparison. But you'll actually be able to hear the difference between the two of them. It's up to you. I won't say that one's better than the other. They're both excellent mics, and they both have their place in your mic locker, in your arsenal for whatever it is you're going to do. If you only had to choose one, personally, it'd be the 416. It's as versatile. It's more versatile than the 103 because I can do audiobooks in this. I can do all of my recording on this, but I can use this out in the field. So if I take my Zoom and my camera out in the field, I can use this one. If I need this one to happen to be far enough away where it's off camera, I would use this one. Can't use this one. You get far away from this microphone, you'll get more and more of that ambient noise in the microphone, whereas this one will reject it. So if you could only pick $1,000 mic, that was going to be for voiceover, for your YouTube channel, for your radio imaging, for your broadcast, for audiobooks, and maybe some field videos that you make, then I think the 416 is the mic for you. If you're just going to have it just in the booth and you're just an audiobook guy or you're just a podcaster, you have some exclusivity in what you're recording, then definitely give some attention to the 103. So that's it. Those are the two microphones that we have. Hopefully you've gotten a chance to hear it. Put on your headphones and take a good listen to it. And when you get $1,000 and you're ready to make a mic purchase, give these two a consideration. That's it. Now, go pick any microphone and record something amazing.